Good morning. You're listening to Shamelessly Shontay, and I'm your host, Shontay Lundy. Welcome back, Kimberly.
Good morning, Shantae.
Yeah. Yeah. Or so Kimberly. How about that?
Yes.
All right. I worked my butt off this last few months, and I had to do a commercial. A commercial for Walmart.
Yes.
Okay. And I was actually down and out on myself because I did not perform to the best of my abilities.
Your high standards.
Well, okay. So
Yes.
I was given a script
Mhm.
the day of the commercial. Like, I didn't see it prior. I sat in the chair and they're like, okay, read this. And there was a name that I kept messing up. And it was not allowing me to show my true personality for this commercial. Now, I was even messing up on my title. Hi, my name is Shontay Lundy. I'm the creator. And I'm like, wait, what? Why did I just mess that up?
Mm.
So, doing these type of events and having these moments for the business isn't as hard or easy as it seems. And our next guest, he has a huge personality. And I want to tap into where does it come from, and is it always what we think? Meaning, does he have to practice? Because I didn't practice. I didn't have anything to practice with.
You never practice, though. You're so good at it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But that day, it didn't feel good. Even somebody on the crew was like, let's just move on. I looked at that person like, I was set up for this.
Yeah.
I was set up. So let's hear what our next guest has to say, because he is a powerhouse
Yes, he
in
is.
the space of radio.
Yes.
Okay. You're listening to Shamelessly Shontay. So, Kimberly, we have an amazing person sitting next to us. Tell us about him.
Yes. Born in Pakistan and raised in LA, he found his calling in the vibrant radio scene of Los Angeles. Discovered by a night jock at 92.3 The Beat, he went on to become a respected on-air mixer and even Steve Harvey's DJ. He eventually brought his skills to Boston, where he now holds the prestigious title of program director. His true passion lies in crafting captivating mixes. He's nationally recognized for his daily morning show, a midday dose of nostalgia with a back in the day buffet, and 2 energetic mixes during his drive home with Pup, including the 5 o'clock traffic jam and the mix at 6. He is an award-winning force to be reckoned with. Let's welcome to the show the one and the only Pup Dawg.
Woo! Look at the sound effects. The sound effects will come
What's
in
up?
the edit.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Pup Dawg.
What up?
So what's your name? The government name.
Kareem Karamali.
Karamali.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
that is the government. Wow.
I mean, it's not Pup Dawg. You don't go everywhere. Like, you took a flight here. And
Yep.
on your boarding pass, it wasn't Pup
In
Dawg.
Boston, it definitely was Pup. No,
Okay.
I'm kidding. But no. Pup comes from Papu, which is the youngest in the house in my culture.
Okay.
So we've never used our real names between me and my brother. I have an older brother. And Kareem was a very popular name in my culture growing up.
Mhm.
There's a lot of Kareems playing basketball. So my brother, never calling me by my real name, always called me Papu. His friends shortened it up to Pup.
Okay.
And then that just stuck.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got the first part of it. Now
Yep.
the second part of it.
Come on, LA, man. Dog Pound, Snoop Dogg, that whole era. I grew up in that. So
So why did you choose to spell your name D-A-G-G as opposed to D-O?
double G.
Oh, you spell it D-A-W-G.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why did I spell it that way?
Mhm.
I have no idea why I spelled it that way. I think it was 3 different ways being spelled at the time. Snoop Dogg was the 2 G's at the end. Dog Pound was the 2 G's. I should have done it that way because I was a huge fan of theirs, but I did it the D-A-W-G. Just to be a little different, I guess.
I mean, when I see the name, I'm like, who? Pup Dawg, right? Like, it makes you stop.
Right.
Have you ever considered changing it?
No.
Okay.
Well, I want to know,
Yes.
where'd your love of music come from, and specifically hip-hop?
Having an older brother, he's 5 years older than me. He had his music, which was more on the pop side. And then just getting introduced to the Dog Pound era, kind of becoming my own music. It wasn't my brother's music. because he controlled the radio in the car when we were in the car
course.
together. When I was
He's the oldest.
Yeah, the oldest, right? They control everything.
You had to sit in the back, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to sit in the back and had no say on whatsoever what we hear, and so I had to hear whatever he was listening to at the time, which was a lot of alternative rock and pop at that time for him. So kind of grew up on that too, but then hip hop became mine, and then the school I went to was very Mexican and black, so that's all it was in my school. So kind of being involved with them and my friends, and kind of learning hip hop at that time, hip hop was coming into like more in the mainstream. So starting to fall in love with that way.
Do you remember your first hip hop song or record that you mixed?
Mixed? Ooh, no, but I remember my first purchase, which was the Dog Pound CD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm a big Corrupt and Daz fan. Yeah.
Okay.
So I remember that.
Uh-huh.
So there are not a lot of Pakistanis in the industry, right?
Right.
So what's it been like for you? Were you welcomed with open arms? And do you get any shade because you're not black
hmm
and maybe not considered part of the culture?
I don't think I got any shade. I think it was definitely a motivation thing. I remember this clear as day. It was in junior high. I went to Webster High School, which is not too far from here, junior high, and I was air DJing while I was walking. I was like kind of practicing, seeing some of my boys DJ, Craig and Bo. They were like the junior high DJs at the time, and kind of just watching what they did all the time. I would always kind of practice. No idea what I was doing, but I was practicing. I was walking with my backpack on. I remember two kids walking the other way, and they're like, "Ooh, watch out, this little Indian kid." Because they didn't know the difference between Indian and Pakistani. Everybody was Indian at that time. Oh, watch out, the Indian kid is DJing. And then in my mind, I was like, I am going to be a DJ one day. And I'm going to, so I know that was a motivation factor for me at that one point, because I still recall that moment. But LA radio-wise, they showed me a lot of love as soon as I walked in. It was like, I think you said it, one of the guys, Eric Kubici, I showed him a lot of love. He's from out here. He saw me in a club one time and liked what I did, but Boston was a little tougher when it came to breaking into the scene.
So how are you able to express the culture when you may not be as seen as the culture?
As the Pakistani culture or the black culture?
Black culture.
Oh, just hoping that I'm representing it right. Like I walked in here and you had Zane playing, like knowing my history of why I'm behind this music. I do love it. But knowing I'm just not trying to grab a bag from this culture, knowing some of the history and hopefully knowing a lot to be able to keep it going.
So generally we see, so I'm not sure in your culture, but like maybe in like the Nigerian culture and the Asian culture, parents want their kids to be, doctors
Yep.
and lawyers. So what was that conversation like when you were talking to your parents about, the industry that you wanted to join?
When it was in junior high and high school, it was they definitely supported me from the jump. But it was make sure you finish high school, make sure you do well in high school. But it was 100% support. They never they wanted what was going to make me happy, and luckily my parents are their love marriage, which doesn't happen a lot in my culture. Especially back then, it was a lot of arranged marriages.
Their love marriage.
Their love
That's
marriage, yeah.
That's nice.
Yes, yeah. So they kind of already went against the grain when it came to that part. So yeah, they would love it if I became a doctor and somewhere that I didn't have to work 24/7 all the time. Still at this day, but they saw my passion behind it, and they were like, "If you're gonna do it all in."
Have you ever had him on air?
My mom definitely. My mom's a character. Yeah.
Yeah.
My dad, no. My dad says 3 words to me, and that's 3 words.
And what are the 3 words?
Go get some sleep. Did you rest today? Did you sleep today? Did you eat? Did you sleep? And that's his love language. That's few words. If he says any more than that when he calls me, when your mom calls you, you pick up. When your dad calls you, you're like, what happened? What's wrong?
Yeah.
That's that. Like that's how our relationship is. So it's great, but he's just a quiet guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So being a radio personality or DJ, I mean, that's a coveted role. So, I mean, how did you break in? How did you get your first gig?
So DJing was the passion of DJing. Actually, I think our culture knows the difference between a personality and a DJ,
Sure.
but a lot of people hear the word DJ and they think just personality, like the mainstream, right? So the love of DJing happened just by DJing in LA at the time. I had a partner, DJ Z. We did a lot of Indian parties. So he did the Indian music, I did the American music, and we had a nice little setup. It was for, he had the 2 CD players, I had the turntables, and we'd mix in Indian songs on the fly. So, we did a lot of parties like that, but then I was starting to get to be known as the Indian DJ. So I wanted to kind of break out of that.
What was your intro for that? what was your intro? How would you introduce yourself?
I would definitely still be DJ Pup Dawg.
Okay.
yeah. And he was DJ Z. We didn't, our gimmick was just, rocking the two cultures together.
Okay.
And at weddings and stuff like that. At that young age, you did a lot of house parties and weddings and stuff like that. So I wanted to break out of that. So then I started taking my records by myself to clubs. And I kind of scope out the scene. And if I was a bunch of young people on the door, I'd be like, oh, the owners called me. And if I saw some older people at the door, I'd be like, the promoters called me.
Oh.
And I kind of make my way in. I go to the DJ booth. I was like, yo, I'm supposed to be on in a little bit. No one actually checked anything. And I got on and I would rock. So then it would just kind of turn into oh, you played us, but good job kind of deal. And there'd be some times where I'd walk in and I'd be like, oh, the promoters called me, and the promoters would be in the corner over there like, no, we didn't. Same thing with the owners. And I'd be like, damn it, I had to do the walk of shame with my records back. But that's why I did it alone, because my friends wouldn't understand what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it was like, I had to do that. And that's how I actually got that one club gig. It was a Sharks Club in Irvine. It was my girl's birthday. It was her 21st birthday. And I did the same thing. I said, oh yeah, I'm rocking for my girl whose birthday it is. The DJ at the time was, I guess, this vet DJ that was been doing it for so long. When I was like, yo, I'm getting on, he's like, he just literally moved over. Like, I'm still getting paid, so I don't care.
What I'm hearing you say is you got to walk fast, talk fast, and think fast.
Yeah, hustle.
Yeah.
And then Eric Kubici was at that club at that night when I did that. And at that time, it wasn't really, the web hadn't really popped off. So I finished my set. He came up to me. He was like, yo, good set. You should do a set on my show. And I was like, cool, who are you? He's like, Eric. But I listened to him. And when he said Eric and I heard the voice, I was like, shoot, Eric Kubici, and my gum melted in my mouth. I got nervous, but luckily it was after my set. So then he brought me in, and I first said on the radio was like at 1:00 in the morning, and I said, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you do long shifts.
Yeah.
You do long shifts. So recently I've seen some performers in the hip hop space get annoyed and frustrated that the crowd is not amped up.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's a younger crowd, they don't know the music.
Shout out to Busta.
He's not the only one,
No,
though,
I know.
because at a performance in New York, we had Meth and Red.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And listen, if Rottweiler comes on,
Right.
because in the late 90s, like that was the song for me.
You didn't even need the words on that. Just
No,
that beat
as soon as
kicked
the
in.
beat,
Yeah.
as soon as the beat hit, and look,
Right.
I'm getting excited right now because that was everything for me. But even Bust to Bust, like, how do you sit? So how do you keep a crowd motivated and engaged?
I think the new world is definitely a little bit tougher. Back in the day, it was your music collection and the way how you rocked was like universal. It was, you knew what the hits were. Now it's really tough. I'm not gonna lie, but bringing attention to it, I would never do that. Like, I think that the world also we live in. You tell somebody, I need you to stand up, they're gonna actually sit down even harder.
I think they brought the house down still.
They did, still,
right?
okay.
Like, I think they still did well, but it was more of really currently people are not being present.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe you're in your phones, you're having that conversation, but I think performers just want the attention.
Right.
They're here to entertain, they're here to connect, but that's not what's happening. And
Yeah.
that's why I asked you that. So it's not about demanding, just how do you like, what's the feeling? Like, do you need to feel it? Like, what do you need?
100% need to feel it. I used to, and even now, even at a crowd, when you're DJing for a club, I used to be able to pick out, I can make a wave of a crowd just go crazy, like the reggae, the dance hall, the hip hop, the top 40 or whatever, and just kind of watch the crowd move around. Now I just focus in on the group that's having a good time, and my energy is coming from them. Not focus on the people that are giving me the stank face, that aren't liking some of the records that I'm playing at the moment. You know what I mean? Because that energy is huge, and I'm that person that can get 1,000 comments saying, "Oh my God, you killed it." One person says you suck.
Mm-hmm.
I get into my feelings with that
Sure.
one message.
So what's a successful set to you?
Being able to just control everybody at the same time.
Oh, I never looked at it as power or
Wow.
control. So, okay. So I ask you to come and and do a set for Black Girl Sunscreens.
Yep.
Holiday Party.
Okay.
Number one song you hitting us with.
Ooh, man. It's got to be old school. Definitely old school. I think old school still right now, even with the young crowd, that gets them going. And then you got to go into what's the first song I'm going? Oh my God, this is on the spot.
Yeah.
Man, you can't hit them with the cheesy. You can't hit them with the DMXs right off the top. You can't do the bring 'em out right in the beginning because that's just you got to build up to that, you know? Because then that's a force, you know. Bass drop, everybody put your hands up. Like, nah, you wouldn't come in with that. I don't know. I would have to feel the crowd out. I would have to come in. That's why I go to my gigs 30 minutes early.
Okay.
I see what the DJ's doing before me or feeling the crowd. Because one, I don't like to repeat you're going to have to repeat some stuff. But for the most part, you want to get I get the energy from the crowd and I'd like to vibe out and see where we're going with it, you know?
So I just heard a few tips. So can you summarize 3 tips for anyone that's aspiring to get to where you are on how to have a successful, not set, but just feel good about what they're doing, feel the crowd? What are 3 tips?
You don't play for yourself. You play for the crowd. A lot of DJs get, they're so focused. I feel like they're so focused on, introducing these records and trying to create an energy instead of letting the energy come to them. Sometimes you have to cheat and use some of those records to build that. But if you enjoy doing it that way, play what you enjoy, first of all. That's why I've kind of slowed down on the clubs. I do more concerts now because the club scene has become music that I'm not enjoying personally.
Is there any? Okay, I'll let you finish with your tips.
So enjoy, that I think if the DJ is enjoying it, I feel like the crowd will feel that energy too. That's my opinion. If the DJ is just playing records, that energy goes out too.
Okay. Anything else?
No, just play what you enjoy rocking with at the same time rocking with them.
Okay. Is
That
there
makes sense.
any track that you will not play?
Oh man. Right now, currently?
Yep.
Oh man. Not a big fan of that Shabuzi song.
Okay. Okay.
Again, but I have to play for the crowd though, right? So I probably would drop it, but if it was my own set, I probably wouldn't.
Okay.
Any of those cornball TikTok records. I'm not gonna do that.
So my next question is,
Yeah.
what is the corniest part of your job?
Trying to please those people that are just TikTok song lovers.
You know what I thought you would say?
What?
Reading commercial ads.
Oh, reading commercial. I thought we were just talking about DJing.
Yeah, no, we talk about the whole thing.
Got it.
Commercial ads.
Yep.
Like, hey, go out there and buy a car from Jen at the Hill.
No, that pocket money is
Yeah.
nice sometimes.
Okay. So what's the most exciting part of the biz?
The exciting part is definitely introducing music, creating memories. Everyone
Yeah.
talks about where they were when they first heard a song, or it takes them back to a spot. When you play a record, I was in high school graduating at this time. I was with my boyfriend, my girlfriend at that time. We were driving. A lot of songs just bring you back to memories and good times, bad times, whatever it is, but it brings you back to a place. And I love that.
Do you feel a lot of pressure in that role?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I actually love that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to play a game.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
It's
All
an
right.
easy one.
Yeah, it's really quick, easy. First thing that comes to mind for this or that. Okay. Shontay has the first question.
I do.
Yes.
Okay. Snoopy or Pluto?
Snoop.
So
you like Snoopy?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't say Snoop.
Okay. Snoopy. Yes.
Snoopy.
Yeah. Just because it's the name too.
Okay. A pit or a poodle?
Oh, a pit. I have a pit lab. Cali
You
Mamba.
see the commonality of these questions? Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. Performers. Pitbull or Bow Wow?
Pitbull, full on entertainer.
Celtics or Lakers?
See, you're killing me with that one.
I'm not.
It's
So-
easy.
Just
okay.
because you live in Boston
I know.
and they just won the championship, you're from here,
Right.
sir. So pick the correct answer.
So the funny thing is, every time I know the players from the Celtics.
Okay.
So whenever I go to, I'm so glad Lakers and Celtics don't go to the finals together.
Mhm.
So then I can, I'm the DJ that became that Pakistani DJ that you told me you couldn't be. And I'm also the guy that said you can be a Lakers and a Celtics fan. I'm that.
Oh, I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. East Coast rap
Mm.
or West Coast?
West Coast.
There you go.
So I need you to finish this rhyme. I'm going to talk it. I'm not going to say it in beats.
No, you got to rap it.
No. Now let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West.
Okay. I don't know the next line, but it's Dr. Dre and California Love and Tupac.
So what's the next line?
Hold
What's
on.
the next line?
But to
And what's the
Wild
name
Wild
of the
West.
song?
It's California Love.
Yep, you're right.
Now
let me welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West.
Oh man, see, this is
A state that's untouchable.
Yeah. See, I suck with that.
Okay, I'm not good at lyrics either.
But I'll tell you the name of the titles and the songs.
Okay, well, we're going to try again anyway,
Okay.
even though you said you're not good at it. Okay, so finish this rhyme. When the pimp's in the crib, ma.
Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Okay, that's
So-
easy.
See, I know the hooks.
Yeah, you got the hooks.
So what's the name of the song?
Drop it like it's hot.
Bet. All right. So what's next for you, sir?
What is next for me? I just enjoying and continue doing what I'm doing. I was just talking to my wife about this. I definitely want to go into artist development. I've been helping out a lot of artists for a long time. I feel like that's my next calling. I don't feel like I got to the top of radio programming. Now the next higher is behind the mic. I mean, not in front of the mic anymore, not behind the decks anymore. So I don't want to know if I want to go that route.
Mhm.
It's more of the being a GM or a vice president of programming. But if you take the on-air aspect away from me, I don't think I want to continue radio.
Because you're so fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy that.
Right?
Yeah,
And it's like you're like the voice of the city.
you're right. I become the big brother of Boston.
Yeah. It's so cool.
I just don't want to become the dad of Boston. So that's why I'm like figuring out my next 10-year plan.
But you know what I've noticed is that the people that are really prominent in the space are coming with experience and are seasoned. I don't want to call them the O word,
Right,
but I think this is just what it is right now.
right. So that's why I want to take that knowledge and be able to help. You know, there's no blueprint in becoming a superstar, but besides hard work. And I just feel like I can take that radio ear, the finished product, to go, yes, that's a hit or not. I have a good batting average.
I'm gonna
of
ask
hits.
you a really dangerous question.
Yes.
Is there enough? Because when you say superstar DJ, I think of one person that is
Mhm.
not the same as you, but kind of similar.
Right. What about him?
I'm gonna ask. There's enough. Is there enough for two?
Oh, there's definitely enough for two. And Khaled's one of my biggest mentors. That's who you're talking about, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's definitely him, Drama. They all have my back. They've always helped me not only become a DJ, but radio personality. And now, like, the next chapter in my life, which is hopefully the artist development. They've always backed me up with any artist that I've been tied in with DJing for or helping develop.
Pup, I love your story. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
For coming in
This is an
high
honor.
energy, talking fast. I had to listen fast.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I had to listen
Great.
fast.
Yes.
You were fantastic.
Yes.
Thank
Yeah,
you
I was
very
trying to slow it down too, man.
No, it
My
was a
bad.
good pace. It was a good pace. And you're listening to Shamelessly Shontay. So, Kimberly, what's happening at Black Girl Sunscreen?
Well, it's that time of the year. All the kiddos are going back to school. So it's really important that parents and caregivers don't forget the sunscreen and the need to protect the little kiddos. So, of course, BGS Kids backpack, send it to them with them to school, protect and moisturize their skin.
Love it. So, all right, folks. BGS Kids comes in a yellow and blue bottle. It is not the same color as Black Girl Sunscreen, okay? So when you see it on shelves, it looks different, all right? And it has a number 50 on it. It has a wave and a beach ball, okay? So yes, it is developed and by Black Girl Sunscreen, but for the kids. It has a different look, but it's from us, okay? So I want to make sure that there's no confusion when you go into your favorite store to purchase BGS Kids, all right? If you have any questions, hit us up on Shamelessly Shontay. And you're listening to Shamelessly Shontay. Bye.
You don't gotta dodge them sunbeams. Just put on your black girl sunscreen. Ay, black don't crack a dozen. Black people get sunburned too.